I want to cover this in sort of like two sort of like ways. One is I want to poke fun at this murderous asshole. So we will have some of that. Uh, it's hard to laugh at this because this guy did kill several people. It's like that part of it, not funny. Uh, the fact that they posture like some uber masculine stereotype and yet try to pretend to cry, and we'll get to like whether it's pretend or not, but we're trying to pretend to cry like little babies on the bench is pretty embarrassing. So we'll touch on that. But then I also want to talk about the judge because a lot of people have been like talking about this judge. And part of the thing that annoys me about the conversation about the judge is that people taking like little snippets is like really annoying. But then also it's like, I don't know, I just have a general critique of the legal system generally. I guess I use two generals there, but I just have a critique of the legal system. And so it's like it's weird to me that people are focusing in on this judge as if there's like justice would be better served if they had a different judge. But the fact is, justice cannot be served here. Like everything about this situation sucks. I don't think the outcome of this trial is going to make anyone feel better. You know, it's not going to return the other two people who died back to life. It's not going to like heal the wounds that were caused by the assholes and the people who perpetuate assholery like this. It's not going to end them, right? They're going to keep doing what they're doing no matter what the verdict is. So just everything about this sucks, you know? But that being said, there's also a bunch of like libs that are promoting this idea that the judge particularly has like a bias here. And like all judges have biases, obviously. But it's like this idea that somehow he's like a super Trump supporter. And like I just haven't seen that. And I've been watching some of the hearings, I guess, and my takeaway, and we'll get to it. I think he's just old. I don't know that it's a particular like he's a Trump supporter and therefore is going to rule on this case in a very Trump-like way. I just think that he's old, and I will have some evidence to provide to support my case there. But I think he's old. So, so the first thing that I want to touch on is this. Actually, let's do the judge stuff first here, and then we'll get to watch some of the shit first before we get to appreciate the crying fit here. So let me reorganize. All right, there we go. So the one thing that I want to capture here with this judge is I think it first came out right before the trial started. There was like an article that went semi viral, or at least people started reporting on the sort of openings of the case, where I guess the judge came out saying that you couldn't call Kyle Ritten, or you couldn't call the people that Kyle Rittenhouse had shot and killed. You couldn't, the prosecutors could not call them victims. And then on top of that, he said that it would be okay if the defense characterized people at the protest as being rioters or looters. And a lot of people reacted to that quite viscerally because and I agree, I'm not a fan of Kyle Rittenhouse. So I do perceive the people that he killed as victims, and I do not perceive the people running around Kenosha as rioters or looters. However, in a legal case, you can't just stipulate that they are victims if that is the case you're trying to make as the prosecution. Okay? So that's why they couldn't do that. As for the rioting and looter aspects, you can do that as the defense if your goal is to somehow make a defense around the idea that Kyle Rittenhouse was particularly aggrieved by these rioters and looters, and that's why he did what he did, and that's the defense somehow, right? Now, I don't think that's a good defense, but the point of that article that, or the point of the court proceeding that elicited those statements revolves around that, right? Like that you can make the argument as the defense for here's my defense. These people were doing this, and this is how, uh, my client responded to that. So as much as like it feels icky, we don't like it because like I'm already on one side of this like divide. It feels icky. I can understand why those things were said in the court and why the judge made that decision. Just like they would make it in any other case, no matter the victims or or non-victims, right? Like this, that's just part of the law to try to be as unbiased as possible. So that I found like really weird that people like latched onto that, and they started already like stating that the judge sort of like has it in. Then this happened today, and I was watching some of this live, but I missed this moment. But apparently, the judge's phone goes off. Okay, so for one, again, I think the judge is fucking old. I think he's an old dude, and clearly does not know how to work technology, and his phone goes off uh, during this. But then people really latched on to the song that plays. But we'll watch the 9 second clip
here. The actions that I had talked about were done in bad faith.
Oh, fucking! I wanna
done in bad faith.
His fucking face as he realized, like, oh shit, there goes my phone. So if you didn't catch that, it was playing that song, you know, like, cause I'm proud to be an American. Cause at least I know
I had no
I'm
clue
free.
that's what the song was. I've never actually heard the song. I've only heard you and the South Park rendition. I have no clue how it actually goes. I just thought that's the only line on repeat.
I mean, it does tell you something about the nature of this judge that that's what he would have as a ringtone. You know, there is something there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, that is also just a very boomer thing. I mean, and the other part of that is like boomer and Trump supporter, highly correlated. Like, you know, very correlated. But a lot of people took it like, so then as this tweet shows, it goes, Judge Schroeder's phone rings in the middle of the Rittenhouse trial. And it just happens to be the theme song from the Trump rallies when he walks on stage. Go figure. And so a lot of liberals are going around being like, this is the theme song that plays on stage with Trump figures. And I'm like, Trump songs play everywhere. Or like Trump chooses a bunch of songs that get played everywhere. Like this, I think it's Lee Greenwood. Is that the name of the artist? I can't even remember. But like that song is a popular song. And so yeah, okay, Trump plays it. Like how does this connect him to Trump other than the fact that he's an old fucking man? An old white dude in a place of privilege. Like that should connect him more to Trump than the fact that his fucking ringtone plays a Proud to Be an American song. I was in the heart of Mississippi in 2001. That song is seared into my spine. No, exactly. Exactly. So I just find it weird that people latched onto this like weird obscure Trump like link here. It would almost be like if his phone started playing "We're Not Gonna Take It," and then they play clips of like Trump rallies where "We're Not Gonna Take It" by Twisted Sister played, and then go, therefore, this judge is a Trump supporter. And it's like, I don't know. Lots of people listen to Twisted Sister, all right? I think they all suck. I'm not a huge Twisted Sister fan myself, but if that's your thing. The point is, like, I find this weird. Like, liberal Twitter was just going off on this today, and it's like, I don't know. I want to, like, again, I watched some of the trial today, and there was moments where it's like, the judge didn't seem to me to be choosing one side or the other. Once you watch it in totality, I don't know what that means for the outcome of this trial. It just, you know, it's easy to select these moments and then try to craft some sort of narrative. But I'm not fully on board with the idea that he somehow is any more or less biased than other fucking old white judges that you would replace him with. Bold stance on Twisted Sister. Name me one other Twisted Sister song. Isn't that like that's like the only Twisted Sister song that people know? I'm also not a hair metal fan. I was never, I listened to Limp Bizkit. Yes, I already like embarrassed myself by admitting that, but never listened to hair metal. SMF? What's SMF? Viking man. Lib. I'm a lib because listen, the anti-vaxxers have now taken. We're not going to take it and march with it. So I don't know if that makes me a lib. But anyways, here's further evidence that I have that the judge is just an old man. Been watching the whole thing. Persecution is clearly being malicious and egotistical. I think could do anything that you live in an echo chamber. I mean, if anything, I prove it here. I'm going against the narrative that this judge is somehow out to like uh, defend Kyle Rittenhouse in all cases. I don't think that's the case. I also think that the prosecution's been doing a pretty good job of pointing out the lies of Kyle Rittenhouse and his own defense, and we will get to that in a second. I don't think it's malicious. This is if you watch any court cases, court procedures, that is how the prosecution is supposed to behave. Okay? So I'm sorry if seeing a murderer sob like a little baby on stand makes you want to defend him, but fuck him. It's just my favorite emote. Fair enough, Mita. We still love you, all right? You can call me a lib. It's just calling me a lib. Them's fighting words, So before we get to Rittenhouse and his lies, let's this has got to be one of the most boomerest moments I've ever experienced. The context of this was the prosecution wanted to show a video clip, and in the video clip they had zoomed into a particular part. Okay, and the defense you objected to the zooming in part of the video, even though the video has already been submitted into evidence. So it was accepted, it's submitted into evidence. And listen how the judge responds to this, okay? Now that I've given you the background, this is the judge responding to that.
Accept as accurate what Richards is saying, and I'm not going to accept what you're telling me. I said if you can offer somebody who's knowledgeable in these areas, the document or I think you should be allowed to use the image. But this is high risk to me. If you insert more data into an area of space, well, you're wagging your head no. Tell me where I'm wrong.
There's no proof in this record that we're doing that, Your Honor.
I didn't say there was proof of it. I said you have the burden of proof. You're the proponent of the exhibit, and you need to tell me that it's reliable.
The exhibit's already in evidence, Your Honor.
That I know.
The enhanced exhibit is not in evidence.
This is not enhancing.
Well, then why show it? I mean, the reason you want to show it is because it enhances the image, right?
So this is the process.
No, one at a time.
I'll say what Mr. Krause was just saying. The defense has taken videos and photos and cropped them, zoomed in on them, on many.
So what he just is saying there is basically like the defense has done this, so I don't know why we're making a particular focus on me doing it right now. And the judge literally for a second there was thinking that by zooming in, the prosecution was adding more information. And
listen. There really does need to be like a computer literacy test for any sort of political or legal office anymore. This has become I don't know how it is in Canada, but this is just like a perfect encapsulation of everything wrong with my country. It's just old people who don't understand technology at all, like critiquing technology. And it's like, we can't have this. I'm sorry, we just can't have this. This is not. No,
but this is why it's like I don't know that this judge specifically has it out to like, make. I was gonna say get off Kyle Rittenhouse, but that's not exactly what I'm gonna say. I don't think this judge is purposely trying to be easy on Kyle Rittenhouse. It's just like it's clear that like when it comes to these things, like he's an old fucking white dude, you know? And like we want to we're going to talk about University of Austin, Texas in a second, but you want to talk CRT? Here's exactly why CRT, critical race theory, is important. Is that you have old fucking white dude judges sitting on the bench that like exist in a system that constructed who they are, you know? And what it constructed was stupid fucking old white dudes like this. You know? And so yeah, if for those of you who don't know, critical race theories like comes from a legal theory that talks about how that basically the judicial system is not colorblind. Uh, and it is, you know, even though like it has the pretense to being colorblind, it's not. And part of what they argue is that a lot of these people are appointed. They don't you just call balls and strikes, but they're influenced by their own particular situations in life. And I think this is evidence of that. You know, part of the problem is when you have boomers that don't understand technology calling the shots in some of this shit, it's going to affect the outcomes of these cases, right? And so, yes, I think the guy, super boomer. Super boomer. You broke your own rules. What rules did I break? What rules did I break? He used the legal enhance. It does remind me, like, you know, those uh like CSI films or whatever. And they're like enhance, enhance, camera enhance, focus, zoom in. There's a moment of that, like in the Stranger Things show, where they have like a photo and they do techniques on it to make the image like get better to see the monster that's was there all along. Uh, yeah. So, anyways, old man judge. I don't. We'll see. We'll have to wait to see where it goes. But yeah, you called the judge an old fucking white dude. How is that breaking my own rules? He is an old fucking white dude. Is he not an old fucking white dude? Hands up in chat if you think that that was an old fucking white dude. Let me see those hands if he's an old fucking white dude, all right? I'm pretty sure I stated off facts, observable facts. Do I need to bring them up again? Do we need to check? Do we need a fact check on this one?
Wait.
Oh my god, it's racism. Oh, I didn't know.
Is it the rules of the Discord? Let me check this.
No,
Rules of the server.
It's
Oh,
rules.
man.
It's rules. I guess if you're first a first time chatter, there's like a thing that pops
yeah,
up in
yeah,
the Twitch
yeah.
chat, and one of the things is
Yeah.
no racism. So I'm guessing that's what
Okay.
apparently
I see.
saying old fucking white dude is racist.
I see. Well, Jody, you're a middle-aged white dude. I guess I gotta go
You're
ban
banned.
myself now. It's like listen.
So fragile.
I mean,
You're such a fragile person.
if there was an old black guy asking for tree fitty, I would be like, yeah, that's an old black guy. Like, what do you don't need to be.
Does he even
don't
need to be
be
saying 350? I'm pretty sure he would still be an old black dude.
He really does. No, you don't understand. He really needs to be asking you about like some obscure bullshit. It's very important to the character.
Isn't that what? I can't remember if that's also from South Park, isn't it?
Ayo, monkey. Oh, I see that you got automated there. Call for fire. We're gonna deny that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You can't. There's no swearing allowed. Okay. There's no fucking swearing allowed on this stream. You know I'm denying it, right? Because you're just being inflammatory. Don't do that. Come on, chill out. Relax. That's
right.
fine.
I'm not allowed to see race. That's right. Listen, I will stop calling old fucking white dudes old fucking and white when they stop being old fucking white dudes. All right. That's when I'll stop. Okay. Glad we're on the same page now. All right. This is stupid. Good.
No shit.
Welcome.
No shit. Welcome to Twitch. This isn't the intellectual enlightenment that I was expecting from the internet. I don't know what's going on. We're watching the Rittenhouse trial. What do you want? We're literally about to talk about fucking Barry Weiss's University of Austin. Like, I don't know what you're looking for here.
You know what? That chat comment was brought to you by White Dudes, which is brought to you by the Sweet Taste of Diet Pepsi. Oh my god. Nothing is more whiter and duder than Diet Pepsi, all right? So go stop a Black Lives Matter protest today by handing the riot police a Diet Pepsi and stopping the fight. Dude, this is my first time on Twitch. Well, welcome. Hello.
No, it's not. You had to make your account 2 days ago.
Oh my god.
That first time you were on Twitch was 2 days ago. What are you talking about? It's fine.
Oh my god.
Fuck. All right. So what's next? Sorry, I had to grab some water.
That was beautiful.
Now I'm dehydrated from laughing again.
I mean, we did have the one person in there saying the prosecution has it out for Rittenhouse, but I found two. There was more of this, so I'll go over one that I don't have a clip for, but I remember from the stream. But here's cases where the prosecutor, I think, excellently impeaches Rittenhouse's character by pointing out various, catching them out in like various lies and stuff like this. So here's the first one.
It's got kind of like medics who are packing. Yeah, right. Well, he's an EMT. Gotcha. I was trying to protect him. Oh, so you're certified EMT? Yeah. Gotcha.
Guinness just asked you, so you're a certified EMT, and you said yes, correct?
Yes.
That was a lie, correct?
I'm not an EMT.
You're not a certified EMT. You're not an EMT of any kind. You weren't on that night, correct?
Yes.
So you lied to him, correct?
I told him I was an EMT, but I wasn't.
And you knew you were being interviewed by someone in the media when you told that lie, didn't you?
Yes.
So basically gets him to admit that he lied to the media while paroling the streets of Kenosha that night by saying he was an EMT when he actually was not an EMT. Again, impeaching the guy's character, because it's like he's claiming he was down there to be an EMT. He's not an EMT. He was not offering people medical, helping them with medical stuff. And so part of this is the prosecution getting at the fact that he's lying. But here's the other weird thing. You don't normally put Rittenhouse on the stand. If you're the defense, putting your client on the stand is a terrible fucking idea and is usually the sign that your case is going poorly. I've been seeing lawyers all day on Twitter being like, why is Rittenhouse on the stand? This is like evidence that they must be losing and they're desperate, and that's why they put him on the stand. That's what like lawyers are saying. And I assume that they're true, and in part because you don't want to have your client, who's trying to defend himself from doing what he did, clearly lie on the stand like this, okay? Or not lie, but like impeach his own character by admitting that he lied when he was doing this stuff. Worst idea defense could do short of throwing in the towel. Yes, exactly. So this is another reason why I think the narrative that people think the judge has it out or whatever. I don't know that Kyle is having a good or doing a good job in his defense. And I mean, only time will tell, but read a thing, it's better to take the stand unless you come off as really unlikable. You're just a quiet guy who killed someone to the jury. Yeah. I think the thing too is like we're gonna see the crying thing, which I feel like that's an attempt, a desperate attempt to gain sympathy, and I don't know that it's gonna be successful. But it's hard to assess like where the jury stands on that. But we got another one of the lies here.
The crowd that are asking you why you just shot someone, right?
Yes.
And you told him he had a gun.
At the time I was a little dazed and I was thinking of Mr. Zeminski with the pistol he had at the Duramax.
So you shot Mr. Rosenbaum because Joshua Zeminski had a pistol?
No.
You don't get to shoot someone else. You don't get to shoot someone else because someone else has a
No.
gun, right?
No.
But you told the crowd he had a gun, didn't you?
That's what I said.
And that wasn't true. Mr. Rosenbaum never had a gun, right?
He didn't have a gun.
Now, can we please play exhibit number 3?
So again, it's clear that on that day he was lying to people, and like that's part of that is impeaching his character. I think the prosecution did a very good job. There was another moment, I don't have it clipped, where Kyle was like very frustrated because they were asking for the moment when he shot not Rosenbaum, but the second victim. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Huber, something like this. There was a moment where he aims the gun directly at Hoover's chest, and the prosecutor asks him, like, what would have happened if you pulled the trigger at that moment? It would have hit him in the chest, right? And Kyle Rittenhouse is like, yes, it would have hit him in the chest. And he's like, and what happens to somebody if they get hit in the chest with a bullet like that? And Kyle Rittenhouse is like, they would die, right? And then they were like, okay, well then, did you intend to kill Huber in that moment? And Rittenhouse is like, no, I was trying to protect myself. But it's like, if you know the act of pulling the trigger here is going to kill the person, then did you or did you not intend to kill the person? And he just refused to answer that question and kept like going around the bush. And it looked really weak on him for just admitting that, like, yes, I intended to kill him, but I was protecting myself. Instead, he just kept on being like, no, I didn't intend to kill him at all. I was protecting myself. So I don't know if that again is going to hold up. The other one was like him. They were mentioning the fact of like to what extent he actually was in a place of being threatened, or like actually sensing that like physical violence was going to come to him. And the one other person who shot but survived, Grosenkatz or something like that. I can't remember his name either. But he at one point had his hand out and was holding a gun, and but like wasn't. I mean, if you know anything about shooting pistols, like very difficult to hit when you're just flailing a gun around in like one hand. Much easier if you have a bit of distance and you're holding it with both hands, right? And that did not take place, and yet he still shot that person, didn't kill this one. And then the question was like, well, why do you think the prosecutor, I think, did a good job at like eliciting the fact of like, you're saying you felt threatened, but doesn't this guy have a right to feel threatened? You just killed 2 people and then proceeded to shoot him in the arm. He still did not shoot you. But don't you think he had a right to hold that gun and feel afraid of you? And Kyle would not answer that question. Because the obvious fucking answer is yes. Yes, he would feel afraid of you after you just killed 2 people. And yet he still didn't shoot you. I don't know. I think everything today made Kyle look really bad. Really, really bad. Basic firearms 101, where you point is where you intend to shoot. Yeah. The guy on the stand was Bicep Guy? Who's the guy who got shot in the bicep, right? I can't remember his name. Grossenkurtz or something like that? Oddly enough, the survivor was a medic and was providing care to people. Yeah. No, it's yeah, I don't know. The right-wing reaction to this has just been like really silly. But we're now going to get to the pièce de résistance, this is before the questioning that we just saw. So this is when the defense was talking to Kyle, and Kyle was describing the lead up to the first shooting, which was against Rosenbaum. And this happened. Now, everyone's mocking him, and I think it's legitimate to mock him because fuck Kyle Rittenhouse. But I still want to like at least talk about the tragedy that took place here, which is this asshole killed 2 people, right? But he does look like a little baby here, so fuck him. Gage Grosskreutz is Bicep Guy. Yes. I don't know why, like I feel like Rosenbaum and like Rosenkrantz in Grosskreutz, and like it's all like blurring into my head into one. So thank you. But yeah, we're gonna watch him cry. Now, I happen to think that this is fake. Okay, that is my personal assessment. But we will watch it, and then I'm curious what y'all think. Look at Jody being able to pronounce European names. I did not. I in fact was not able to pronounce these names. Okay, here we go.
Died. And I was cornered from in front of me with Mr. Zeminski, and there were three people right there.
Take a deep breath, Kyle.
That's what I. That's what I run.
We're going to just take time for our break anyway. You can just relax for a minute, sir. We're going to take a break about 10 minutes, and please don't talk about.
I have never seen anyone cry like that before. Now, I'm willing to accept that people are weird. You know, there's differences between people, but I've never seen another human being cry like this before. You know? Am I wrong? What is the consensus here? But that feels fucking fake.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, far be it from me to judge how someone is trying to cope on the stand in a very, like, you fuck this up, you're going away. You're going away for a long time. You've also murdered two people. Like, I don't know. I guess I can't say murder. You killed two people.
Well, we can say murder. They just can't say.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, exactly.
That's why I've been using the term victim. They just can't use it.
Yeah. Right. So, like, I don't know. Could it be an act? I mean, like, maybe I default to some degree. It's probably real.
The part to me that makes me feel like it's fake. You'll notice right here, he looks over, and then the judge starts talking. Watch this.
Yeah. No, yeah.
And I'm like, this is like, help me out. You know?
Well,
know.
Yeah, well, no, this gets back to a thing, and I'm going to say it, and all the people here are going to freak out when I say it, but it's something that white people do. Like, white people have strategic tears in certain situations, and then people listen to them and empathize. It is a thing that happens.
Yeah. Well, that's why I don't want to say it definitely is fake, you know, and
right.
so could do anything. I mean, I know you're on the seemingly anti-prosecution side of this, but I'm like, to me, it's just like there's an element here where, because you got to understand, like, everyone's putting on a show here. That's the whole point of a trial, right? And so it's like, how much of this is a show or some sort of like PTSD reaction, or because I will agree. Going through that probably caused him some trauma, even if he is an asshole, you know?
Right. Exactly.
And so, I don't know. It could be many things. It's just like, there's also just like how it happens. Like, it would be one thing if it, like, I don't know. I've seen people have panic attacks too, right? And it was just like, there's something about this one where there's the weird, like, it was almost like him straining to have tears come out, but tears never came out. Like, there was just weird aspects of this that I've never seen someone like that I know legitimately was going through something exhibited these things.
Think, yeah,
you know,
I think my hesitancy is just like I am not a true believer, but like at least in my field and for what I've seen with people, like people have all sorts of different emotional reactions, and I think part of what you're getting at is that there's a difference I think people feel between like an emotional reaction to express sadness or grief or trauma and kind of what you're getting at, which is an emotional reaction to elicit sympathy, empathy, whatever, some sort of like help me, intervene with me. but like I don't think I don't think either of those are fake, right? Like I don't think I don't think it's fair to say like he's acting in order to elicit. Am I making sense? Like I think they're
Yeah.
both true reactions, and trying to draw the distinction of like he's putting on a show. It's like everyone who cries is putting on a show. Like that's a human thing. It's meant to garner like people to you of like help. I'm in danger. I need help. Um,
I mean, there's
and
an
I think we
aspect.
could. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say there's an aspect in which like crying can be more voluntary or involuntary, and I mean, like the thing is, like it is as someone who has acting training, it is hard, and like acting training, I have a college certificate in theater, but it's hard to like
Yeah,
to get like to a point where like you can bring yourself to cry, and often that has to do with like sort of tricking, like learning tricks and tools to sort of get yourself to the point where you have that kind of like a real crying experience where it becomes almost involuntary, right? But there are like you know when you're just starting out, things that you do to try to like show off to like because you can't you're not actually embodying the I'm sad and but you're trying hard to, and that's like I think where I'm coming from is I feel a lot of that energy here. It feels a lot like you're trying too hard when it should be involuntary if you're having a real emotional reaction like that. The other element of that could be that he's just
yeah.
really
You don't
ugly at
fucking like
crying.
him.
He could just
It
be
could
a
also
really
be
ugly
you just
crier.
don't.
Like
You really don't fucking like this guy. I mean,
I mean,
that's the other
I
thing,
don't,
right?
but like I'm
Yeah,
trying my best to be
yeah,
somewhat sympathetic, and that like I get it. Like there could
yeah.
be an example of this where it was real crying. I just think the way that it's exhibiting is showing me all the signs of fake crying that I'm just like it feels like fake crying, even though
Mhm,
maybe it is real. And at the end of the day, it
mhm.
doesn't really matter, except for he really did get dragged all over social media today for looking like a big baby. So I guess the hooray for that.
I mean, there. I mean, like adjacent to the conversation of like, is it real crying, fake crying, is it an act or whatever, is just like the like, I'm gonna say this. It's very hard to sympathize after someone's murdered someone. Like it is, we should be, and you've already acknowledged it is traumatic to harm another human being. And like, if you gave them the benefit of the doubt of like maybe they didn't mean to do it in the moment, even though they sort of took a gun over state lines and explicitly went there with the intent to use it, whatever. But like that part is traumatic, and I kind of forgot where I was going with that after I pointed out that he crossed state lines with the gun. So maybe I'll stop. I'll stop
I
there.
guess on that,
Never mind.
all we need to say is that like we clearly think that he's guilty. We think that the
Oh
obvious
yeah,
response to that is he should be found guilty and all that fun stuff. Whether he
yeah.
will or not is yet to be seen. And with how these things
Well,
go, juries are
well,
fucking weird. He's yeah, he's likely to be let go just because that
yeah.
jury
Yeah.
thing. Let's
Let's just hit it. Let's just
but
say
we'll
what's gonna
see.
happen.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Uh, I will reserve sympathy for the dead. Yeah, no, you know what? That's I mean that's part of the thing. That's why I don't mind mocking him. Like I don't. There's an element in which because I am on the side that I am on, I have no sympathy for him, even if he is having a traumatic experience here. You know, fuck him. I do not care. Fuck, this is a good stream. I have to disappear. I'll catch up afterwards. Take it easy, everyone. Goodbye. Goodbye. Everyone should go check out Big Shiny Takes. Big Shiny Takes people are good people. So go check them out. Goodbye. And I think it's Eric, not Nick. All right. And yeah, I think so. Yes, I'm hoping like I wouldn't even say that I'm hoping because as I said at the beginning of this thing, there is no justice out of this. You know, like the people who were killed are not going to come back. Uh, no one is going to get justice in that sense, you know. He's gonna, this asshole is gonna be turned into a martyr no matter what the verdict of this case is. So the end result is everything fucking sucks. Everything sucks. This should have never happened in the first place. We should never have a growing fascist movement in both your country and our country. And I wish this would just stop, you know. And in that sense, fuck this guy. Fuck him, and if he ends up going to prison, I do not care. I mean, again, I'm a prison abolitionist, but at the end of the day, we're in the system we're in, and if he ends up where he ends up, I don't care. Fuck him either way.
Hello, my rebels. Hello, my rebels. I'm a good boy. I'm a weirdo.